Hey, this is Stephen Platinum, your friend in Wrestling with Platinum versus Smackdown. This is from January 15th, 2021. What can I say? As somebody who forces myself, I will allow that, to watch Raw, the difference between Raw and SmackDown is incredibly striking. With SmackDown, it's a matter of stars being developed, like Bianca Belair. It's about segments that you worry about that end up being okay, like Bayley's new talk show, Hello Ding Dong, or Ding Dong Hello. My bad. And then you have things that I thought I wanted to see, but then they get out of it, and instead of feeling cheated, I actually feel like they went about it the right way, like Adam Pearce wriggling out of his title match with WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns. Very nicely done. And of course, the fact that it's 2 hours and not 3 like Raw helps a great deal, but it really comes down to a sense of energy and flow, and the fact that they don't use half the show to promote the other half of the show, which anybody who listens to me knows is one of my biggest gripes about pro wrestling television. Cool? So we're going to open up with highlights from 2 weeks ago where Roman Reigns took out Kevin Owens, and then last week where Reigns forced Adam Pearce into becoming his new #1 contender for the title for a title match at the Royal Rumble by winning the gauntlet match with a help from Jey Uso knocking out the appropriate people and putting the appropriate people on top of the other appropriate people. Whew! We got Heyman backstage with Roman Reigns, who's going over the contract, right? Heyman didn't like the contract when he saw it. He thinks the match needs a stipulation, right? Where Reigns can teach Pearce about fear and respect. Heyman offers to take the contract to Pearce for some adjustment. Reigns does just that. And then he thanks Reigns. So we're off and running. We got people in motion. That's another thing I like about SmackDown. Wheels are put into motion instead of the same thing being repeated and repeated and repeated. It's not this stagnant thing energy-wise where people are just standing in the ring and talking. That is the death. And it always opens Raw, and it's always terrible. Whereas this was quick, fast, and dirty, and then we're into a match. And a match of some note. We got Shinsuke Nakamura against Jey Uso. Very interesting. The commentators certainly have a lot to talk about. And this is where Michael Cole welcomes us to the show. And again, this is another difference between SmackDown and Raw. Raw always opens the same way, with the commentators welcoming us, with Tom welcoming us, and he introduces the blah, 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 boring. Here, Michael Cole is welcoming us as we're in motion, as people are coming to the ring for a match right away. It's just really nice. How's the match? The match, of course, is good. The long and short of it is Shinsuke Nakamura wins, and he wins with a finisher-type move, not a roll-up. It is excellent. Corey Graves reveals that Cesaro versus Daniel Bryan is going to happen later tonight, which is nice. So we get a couple of indications of things that are going to happen close to the beginning of the show. It's very nice. It's still not as precise as what AEW does, which is where they're able to announce the entire card at the beginning of the show, which is very nice. But at least we get a couple of things here. We see some clips of what Baron Corbin did to Rey Mysterio last week. Their match is coming up tonight. Again, things happening from before that are setting up matches tonight. And it's Ding Dong Hello. That's the name of the show. We see Sonya Deville backstage. This has been, I guess, to put it nicely, a slow burn. Sonya Deville's talking to Adam Pearce, right? Heyman walks in, shakes hands with Deville, hands Pearce the contract, and Heyman is selling it, right? This is the opportunity of a lifetime in your hands and all this kind of stuff. And he says, let's make it a no DQ match, right? And then kind of stops talking to Deville. Which is great. It's just a reminder that Heyman is a heel and he's being kind of creepy. Pearce is getting annoyed by this. And signs it, and then drops this little nugget of, I'm going to get injured, and that's what you guys want to see. So he's deferring completely to Heyman, but as a setup. I like it. We go to commercial. Nice. Got a lot in before that first commercial break. We set up half the show, and also the big stuff going on. We're back from the break, and Jey Uso, who lost that first match, is arguing with the referee in the back. Uso storms off after kind of a vague threat. So we see how Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode defeated the Street Profits to win the tag titles, right? Kayla Braxton is back there with the Profits now. They, of course, are eager for the rematch. They're upset, which I like. They're angry, right? What they did to Montez Ford, trying to injure him and all that stuff. So it's good. We're getting a little heat here. Always good to see. We got Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns, and Apollo Crews backstage. The long and short of it, they want a last man standing, not a no DQ. Heyman doesn't believe that Pierce will agree to the stipulation. Reigns says he will because Crews is going to make him. Interesting. And then Reigns is going back to chatting with Crews. Still to come, we're going to have Mysterio against King Corbin, again promoting future things in the show. That is great, but not spending large segments to do it. Also, we're going to get Bayley's new talk show. Go to commercial. When we come back, this is a weird thing that they do, however, is they set up, you're going to see this and this, and then they show something completely unrelated after the commercial break. Hopefully they can work that out of their system. We got Natalya against Liv Morgan. Long story short, Natalya wins with, of course, a roll-up off of a distraction. Boy, they just can't help themselves, can they? Natalya heads up the victor up the ramp with Tamina. They're celebrating. Kay realizes the Riot Squad isn't happy with her. Billy stands with Liv and Riot, but they're not happy. Of course they're not happy. We see what happened last week in the gauntlet between the Mysterios and King Corbin. So out of that gauntlet, they got a couple of stories out of it. And so that's good. That's good. If you're going to have multi-person matches, you got to get multiple stories out of them. So now we got Mysterio against King Corbin. Hits Ray with his finisher after a distraction, right? Because Dominic storms the ring. Ray goes to stop him and then gets distracted and then loses. Corbin's taunting him. Boo heels. Still to come, Cesaro against Daniel Bryan. Adam Pearce is walking backstage. Heyman gives him this new contract. Long story short, last man standing. He ends up signing it. So crew members are setting up the ring for Ding Dong Hello. The set is going to have a door in the middle of the ring. And then they go to commercial. Strike me as interested. And we come back from the break. We want to see Ding Dong Hello right away. But of course they go to something else. Is what it is. The Mysterios and Corbin continue to do their stuff. We go back to the ring. And now here's Ding Dong Hello. Bayley steps through that front door prop in the middle of the ring, which is ridiculous. She's got a chair, she's got an end table and a stool for her guest. Bayley's bragging about her show, which literally just started. And then Bianca Belair is come into the ring, but Bayley makes her go through the door, makes her ring the doorbell, all this ridiculous stuff. Long story short, Bayley challenges Belair to an obstacle course next week. Good, we're setting stuff up for later. Ain't mad at it. Ding Dong Hello is ridiculous. The door, making people ring a doorbell of a freestanding door in the middle of the wrestling ring. It's all very much on brand with what Bayley does. Funny with a hint of what the hell. It's good stuff. So we got Chad Gable getting Otis ready for the Royal Rumble, and Daniel Bryan is training with them as well. Cesaro interrupts. So here's our setup for our match. This segment was not as successful as the others, but it was trying to do a couple of things at once, which I do appreciate. Daniel Bryan against Cesaro. Cesaro gets the win, clean. Daniel Bryan losing. But again, we all know going into the Royal Rumble, your wins and losses don't really matter. They're going to put over who they're going to put over. So Cole calls this a career-defining win for Cesaro. I guess. So Caleb Braxton is backstage with Carmella and her sommelier, Reginald. So, long story short, Banks shows up, says that Carmella can have her title shot as long as Banks can have Reginald in a match first. Okay. Apollo Crews against Sami Zayn. Long story short, Crews cheats, uses the tights for leverage, and the referee doesn't see it. Ew. Big E's looking on and laughing. Crews picks up the Intercontinental title belt off of Big E's couch and stares at it. Crews tosses him back the title. And they're kind of mocking each other. It's sort of friendly, but definitely with a bite and an edge, which makes sense and is on brand, and I like it. So Adam Pearce is selling the fact that he's had to sign this contract and he's not happy about it. Back from the break and announced for next Friday is Apollo Crews against Roman Reigns with the title. Apollo Crews, that's not right. Versus Big E with the title on the line, plus Bayley versus Bianca Belair in Bayley's Ultimate Athlete Obstacle Course Challenge. Here comes Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, Jey Uso. They're going to do this contract signing. Long story short, Pierce fakes an injury and says there's a stipulation in the contract if one of the participants is too injured to participate, they're allowed to name their replacement. He names Kevin Owens. That's the end of the show. Aha! There's the turn. There's more storytelling happening that doesn't seem like it was booked at the last minute. SmackDown goes through these things where sometimes the shows seem very haphazardly put together. This was a show that seemed much more put together in general, and they've set up at least half of the show for next week and a couple of great things for the Royal Rumble, so I ain't mad at them. Anyway, this is Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling with Platinum versus Smackdown for January 15th, 2021.